Yo, what's going on? You done know. It's your boy Amari O'Neill Harabin, if you didn't know. And this is a thing called We Should Be Recording This, because anytime I have a conversation with someone, it comes up at some point in the conversation that, we should be recording this, like, yo, we should be, someone should be recording this. And my response to that of late has been, well, it's already recorded. I am the record. And so I figured now is the time to play the tape and, share some things. One of my intentions a long time ago was to ultimately, ultimately be able to pass back to myself, my younger self, my 23-year-old self, my 19-year-old self, my 16-year-old self, the lessons that I've learned over the past decade. And one of those things is on the topic of manifestation, which I want to talk about today for a moment. But before I get into that, just a bit more about the whole premise of this show that I'm doing. This showing is, I was talking to my cousin the other day who I hadn't spoken to in maybe about 7 years, and just catching up. And I was saying, it's a lot of people out here with information. There's no shortage of information. We go to school for information. There's books full of information, but a lot of times what we really need is experiential information that has been informed by experience. And with that, there's a certain energy and spirit that becomes inspiration, because now not only are you informed, but you're informed on how to act and what you can do in order to make that information, useful, make it do something. And so that's my intention here, is to share information that has been informed by my experience and my pursuits creatively in life, for my family and for myself. And so there was a time where the idea of manifestation was really attractive to me. And it was attractive because at the time I felt a tremendous amount of lack. I felt a tremendous amount of shortage in multiple areas of my life. And the idea of manifestation seemed to promise this sudden miraculous increase, or the sudden miraculous, realization of a dream or an idea. And it's something that I know can become very debilitating, because this idea of manifestation manifests in many different ways. You could be a church person who is going to church every Sunday in expectation and anticipation of what God is getting ready to do in your life. And you show up again and again and again in hope of this, miraculous increase. But when you look back, you realize that, or you can go to, some other means, right? You can go to some other thing that promises you an immediate release, an immediate amount of satisfaction, immediate gratification. There is no shortage of things in the world right now that promise us some form of immediate gratification. And that's what the idea of manifestation was for me. It was a promise of immediate gratification at a time when I felt least gratified. And what I learned was that for every manifestation, there is a period of gestation that you cannot ignore or go outside of the bounds of that, because then you are going outside of natural law, of universal law, of God's law. And so simple stuff You know what I'm saying? You want to manifest a child, you're going to need a 40-week gestation period. Some things is going to take 7 years, or there's another thing that might just take 40 days, or you might have a next day manifestation because the thing was already at a point where it was almost ready to be received anyway. And so knowing that you are no longer tied to the immediacy of things, and you can map things out more realistically. You can be more realistic about your manifestation, even though it might seem unrealistic. And so, for me, that meant, this thing is going to take some time, son. And you need to give it time. And in that time, you're going to have to wrestle and struggle with some feelings and some, some things. And that's okay. You need to lean into that and go with that and move with that, because ultimately time is going to reveal to you the thing that you want to manifest. And whatever that thing is, once you complete that cycle of manifestation and you've gone through the gestation period and you have realized that thing, then subsequent manifestations become a lot more fluid, because say, okay, I'm going to conceive this thing, or I'm going to sow this seed or this idea that I want to create. And I know that, realistically, it's going to take like 3 to 5 years. So in this first year, I'm not going to be like, praying every day, like, this is it, this is it, this is it. I'm going to do what needs to be done in that first year, which is going to have certain limitations. But knowing that I can create and move within those limitations and expand those limitations, each time you do that, you are, you're micro manifesting, right? Because even though it might take 40 weeks to manifest a baby child into the world, from that first moment of conception, multiplication is going on. 2 is becoming 4, 4 is becoming 8, 8 is becoming 16. And there's certain periods of multiplication that we don't see, that we can't witness, but it's happening. And it's not until that multiplication starts to reach a point of like, whoa, I'm hitting something here, that is constraining me, that we then break through into what we're ultimately seeking. So that's the word for today, is gestation. Your manifestation needs a gestation period, and if you can give it that and flow and move with that, you're moving within the natural order of things, which makes the miraculous that much more real.